Hey sister, it's really nice to meet ya. I just met the 5'7" guy who's just my type. Girl, I'm here to talk about the day I realized that I was a hoe and a guy had to save me.
Oh my god, bro.
Are y'all ready? Cool. Let's rewind a little bit. I was at my wit's end, okay? 2023, it was January of 2023. I had made up in my mind that I was no longer going to work harder. I was going to work smarter. In my mind, working smarter meant I'm going to get a job that requires very little of me, but the payout is more. And that could have very well meant that I was going to sell coochie on the side of the road. Did I want to do that? No. But I was going to have to do what I needed to do in order to take care of me and my child. Just kidding. Well, I'm not. But listen, y'all. So now I'm like, I'm just going to get a job at Hooters. I'm going to put so much effort into my looks that they will not be able to say no to me. I will get the job and I will go about my business. That's just that on that. I'm going to get a job where I just have to be pretty. I don't have to be anything else but pretty. I go to work, get pretty, and get my money and go home. And I got the job. And I was very excited, you know, like working at Hooters. They were flexible. It was cool. But I think, you know, sometimes my grandma always tells me that all money ain't good money. And I wanted to make this video to tell like younger girls or girls that are my age that, again, all money is not good money. Like I said, I had applied to Bottle Girl, and listen, the Bottle Girl stuff down here is a lot different than like Bottle Girl stuff in New York. Bottle Girl stuff, usually you're almost nude and you're just shaking, romping, and gyrating with bottles in your hand. And at that time, I think I knew who God was, but I didn't know who God was to me. I didn't know what God could do for me. So I was just basically like living out my life, doing what I wanted to do based off of just what I wanted to do, not what God wanted me to do. And so with that comes a lot of trials and a lot of tribulations that I think would not have happened had I just stayed the course. You know what I mean? Like, you get into a deeper, darker thing. So started with Hooters. I loved Hooters. I will say, you no longer are a person when you work there. You become what they call an entertainer. You're no longer a human. You are there to entertain people. You are there to almost put your feelings aside if you had a bad day, which sometimes was good and therapeutic for me because stuff gets heavy at times, but I just felt like, damn, this is a bit much. And so I realized that would just be the name of the game for that. Now, not only are you not a human anymore, but now you're getting catcalled and harassed, and people are coming up there to see you, and you don't want it. Like, it was becoming so heavy on me where like you get anxious that if you don't perform in a certain way to a man, especially a man, if you do not perform in a certain way to a man, or you don't take heed to his advances, this could very well affect your tip. This could very well affect your money. And I did not want my money to be affected, so I was like, you know, yeah, like, I'll go out with you. Girl, they would get my number and immediately they would be blocked. Expeditiously, they would be blocked. Homie didn't play that. I didn't really like that. And so it really gave me a anxiety almost that I always had to be on for men. And I noticed even in my regular life, that was a thing. That's always been a thing. When I wanted something out of a man, you gotta be on. You gotta be in their face. You gotta be so happy to see them. You have to be, and no matter what you're going through. And also, even if you wanted love from a man, you had to perform in a way that was sometimes unlike you. You had to put your own feelings aside just to garner that love from that person, because it's not even real anyway. I felt as though in my mind, it was creating a different Ariana, and I hated it. I hated it. Like, after a while, I became just very, all right, we gotta get to the money, we gotta get to the money, very numb. I was drinking more. I was going out more. I was smoking hookah. I was wearing less. I was almost idolizing the attention that I was getting from men, but it wasn't the attention that you would think that you would get from a man that actually wanted you. This was the attention that came from men that, you know, I could have you or I don't have to have you, and wanted you for you. They didn't want you for you. They wanted you for what you could do for them, like standing next to them. That was a gut-wrenching realization that men don't care about you the way you think they do, especially when you're drinking, wearing less and going out more at the club, stumbling out the clubs. It was one time a security guard. It was fine. He was fine. But I was like, oh, my feet hurt. Can you carry me? And he carried me out the club. But I'm like, the optics of that would look like you are a drunk that needed to be carried out the club. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I don't really know if this is for me. But I didn't know what to do. So my manager at Hooters, and that's why I think God works in mysterious ways, because maybe I was supposed to work there just so that I could find my church. My manager was like, I found this church or whatever down here. And she told me the church, and I started going. Immediately after I started going, I was like, I could start feeling at the time it just felt like something heavy was on my heart and I needed to get it off. But later on you realize that that's something called conviction. So I was becoming convicted about the life that I was living and the life that I really wanted for myself. So I'm in the church on Sunday, but Saturday after you got off work, you was drinking, having sex with the boy you should have been left alone, and then going to church on Sunday. And it just felt like, what are we doing? And I could feel like this nudge, like God is never loud. Sometimes, I mean, I don't know, God is never loud for me. God is in those quiet moments with me. Like, it just felt like a nudge, like, and I was trying to ignore it, like, yeah, but money is good. And God is like, no, but Adam does need them new clothes. No, but my bills do need to be paid. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can find something else before I quit Hooters and before I quit going outside. Well, you know, who else is gonna do it? You know, like, and it was just time after time after time I was creating these excuses on why I would not leave my job until I had no choice. Adam's daycare fell apart and I now had to become Adam's, obviously I'm his full-time parent, but I now had to become a full-time parent because he was no longer in daycare, which means I would not be able to go to work at all. And I just remember like being like, why? How did this happen? Why did this happen? I also felt a sense of like faith, like God will figure it out, like God has it. And I think that that is the thing that I really needed to get over all of the things that I've gone through when it came to like my anxiety, you know, what's next. And none of this is in my control. I am not in control of anything. It's all due to God, and it's all under God's control and under God's will. Now we have free will to do whatever we want, but I don't want to be outside of the will of God, and learning what's in the will of God means being obedient. And so I had to be obedient. I had to finally quit the job and not go back. I had to stop going outside. And by not going outside, I don't mean not hanging out with my friends, but no, sister, I'm sorry, can't go to the club with you because it does not feed me anymore. I had to pay attention to what was feeding me, the constant alcohol, all alcohol, the men. You don't want me to tell you what you need to do. That's another episode for another time. You don't want me to tell you what you need to do. Lock it down. I had to stop doing that. I had to stop with the porn. A lot of it was breathing life into something that I did not want to be a part of my life anymore. I did not want to be the promiscuous girl that was outside all the time, and I had to get serious about my life. I joined the church. I became a member. I got baptized very fast. I got baptized on my birthday, and I was like, oh, this was all God's plan. Like, literally, the way everything happened, it was all God's plan. I got baptized, and my whole entire life kind of changed after that, and I never felt so at peace. Even in the times of like I feel like my anxiety kicks up again, I realize that none of this even matters. You know what I mean? Like, it does not matter. Only thing that matters is how I feel about myself and what I'm working towards and what I'm doing for God and how I'm being a vessel, learning more about God, because that's the season I'm in. I am in no way, shape, or form a perfect Christian. Baby, I've done some things. And that's why I think that I needed to get this off my chest, because I have done some things. Hooters was only it was a very small part in my story, but it was a pivotal part because I think it really changed me for the better. I had to go through that. I had to see the dark times of, like, you know, feeling exhausted and feeling like you had to perform to be loved or perform to be. And God is like, no, I made you wonderfully made, you know, and you need to get out of this because this is no longer you. This is not where you should be. I have better for you. God kept saying, I have better for you. I have better for you. I have better for you. Even now, I want to revert back to like old things that I do, and God just keeps reminding me, no, girl, I have better for you. God will not forsake you. God will not leave you. And I had to really get that through my mind. You are not in control. God will not leave you. As long as you are in the will of God, you will be okay. The moment we step out of line, and that was me stepping out of line. Hooters was me stepping out of line, but I did not know God for myself, and I'm still getting to know God. I'm I'm really, really trying. And so a lot of that trying means you have to take certain things out of your diet, essentially, like what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're watching, who you're around, what job you have. And I did not want to live a double-minded life anymore. So this is about being double-minded. Hooters really put things into perspective for me. Like I said, very, very dark. I don't know if that like helped. I just wanted young girls to know that there are ways you can get money that don't have to do anything with your body, or you smiling in a man's face or manipulating a man for money. And you do have the ability to be anything that you want in this world, as long as you put your mind to it and you actually work. Period, point blank. God is the creator of your life. Go to God. I see a bunch of young girls that came through those Hooters doors, and at the time it didn't sink in, but it's just like, it's a never ending cycle. And just for the clubs, you know, like, I just wish that we didn't have to go that route. And I know that sometimes it's easier to go that route, especially with the schedules and the times, and you're able to find somebody to watch your child if it's at night and all of that stuff. But God is better for us, you know what I mean? And I wholeheartedly believe that. I don't believe that God will ever forsake me and take me out of a place to put me back there, or, you know. So that's all I wanted to say. I really want to speak life into young girls, especially because I know what this generation is gonna have to go through, and I'm sure like the other generations are going through it as well. But the world is so hard on us, and it's easier to get sucked in if you don't have anybody to turn to. The person that we should turn to is God. So I just want to say that. I know this is a very short story. I don't have that many things to say about Hooters, or you know, just working in the nightlife industry in general, because it technically is kind of like nightlife, other than the fact that it is a dark place. And if you have a plan, take that plan, you know, like get out and do something else, or use it to pay your bills. Don't get sucked in. Don't sell your coochie on the side of the road. Don't do any of those things, sister. I believe in you. I believe in you. We all are just on this earth to do what we're supposed to do, to give back to people, to love people, to do better by people, to do better by ourselves. And I want to be a testament to that. And I know that I have not been perfect by any means necessary. I have done some wild things, but now I just feel like God has given me a second chance to really make it right. And I want to do that by, you know, just being a precautionary tale for the girl. And not really so much precautionary, because nothing bad happened to me, but something bad can happen, and also it affects your mental health if you don't take it serious. So that's all I gotta say, girly pops. I thank y'all for being here. I thank y'all for watching. I know it's not a vlog. I'm gonna get into more vlogs when I have something to do. But until next time, bye.